Turn up your volume, turn up your volume. Welcome to another Mindset Breakthrough Day with Sandra Bravo in Gold Coast of Australia. We are here thanks to Success Resources, Tony Robbins, and myself. And I'm super excited to be here with you today. Share with us your name and where you're watching from. If you're in Europe, it's morning for you and you're probably watching live, and I would love to get to know you. If you are in Australia or Asia like myself, this afternoon, middle of the day. If you're in North America, it's probably a little bit late for you. And I actually feel honored to have a very special guest with me today because he is in North America, so it's very late at night for him. But you know, we come from a place of service because that's where fulfillment comes from. And we are happy to turn in here every day with you because you know, all the breakthroughs, all the little things that we learn, they stack up to create that massive momentum and to put your life in flow. I'm really excited because he is like me, a master practitioner of NLP. And if you're a coach, a consultant, a therapist, NLP consultant, if you help people, this is for you. So tune in, whether you're watching live or the replay after. I'm very excited to introduce to you my dear friend, Jeff Faldalen. Hi, Jeff, welcome.
Hey, Sandra, great to be here. Thank you so much. This is going to be a great conversation. Thank you for having me.
Well, I think if you're watching, whether it's live or the recording after, you're in for a real treat because Jeff is a very special person. I met Jeff, I don't know, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. And he has done UPW live with Tony Robbins, just like me, many years ago. And then both of us went on to upskilling ourselves, and we did neuro-linguistic programming. Then we did Master Practitioner Neuro-linguistic programming. And I said to Jeff, oh my God, doing UPW virtual with Tony Robbins after becoming a Master Practitioner of NLP, we see it with complete different eyes. So we'll go deeper into that. But Jeff, please tell us a little bit about yourself and the very first time you did UPW. When was that, and how was that experience for you?
Yeah, so it was life-changing. It was absolutely life-changing. A little bit about myself is I've been in recovery, self-development, dealing with your stuff for about 30 years. I had a car accident back when I was 19 years old. And in that car accident, I almost took my sister's life, unfortunately, and fortunately to say that we are now both healthy and recovered from that. But it really was the turning point in my life. And I got on this journey of getting clean, getting sober, and dealing with my demons inside of me. That happened back in January 25th of 1990 is when I made that decision. And it's just been an ongoing process, and had a very, very successful career in jewelry. And I was at a turning point in my life. I wasn't feeling fulfilled in it. And I took this job of truck driving, which I think is funny because I know Tony's mom wanted him to be a truck driver. And I did truck driving because I was going to write this book, and just really searching inside of myself. And then I went to UPW. And I need to preface this a little bit before UPW. I was turned on to Tony back in 90 when I got sober. I ended up buying Personal Power 1 and studied everything I could about Tony, and had some experience with NLP back then from a pastor at a church, which was an interesting story in itself. So I've been studying it on and off for a long, long time. But then when I went to UPW, it forever changed my life, like unlike anything ever before, because he asked some questions that really made me dig within myself. And that was when I recognized that I had been coaching people. I went to UPW, I think it was about 9 years ago, if not a little bit sooner than that. And it was at UPW that I went, I've been coaching people for 20 years. And really, like I said, I was in this transitional stage of getting rid of the jewelry and stuff like that. And going to UPW made me recognize that I had been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and I might as well start learning to get paid for it. So then right after I went through UPW, I got my first NLP independence course, and then one thing led to another, and ended up getting a master's in it from different people. And so having that awareness now, the one thing Tony does better than anybody is he takes complexity and makes it very, very, very simple. And, it's like you said, we didn't have the awareness, and now we have the awareness. It's an entirely different exposure, because the thing that's amazing with this is that, you know, seeing how somebody else applies it, we can use those same things. It's just like you have told us, you know, we both were exposed to it. NLP is an art and it's a science. And Tony takes it, his art level, to an entirely different level. And anybody that is wanting to make a difference in anybody else's life, you learn from a master. And Tony is certainly that. And being at UPW, it was, you know, you're immersed in the experience. And because you're immersed in that experience, what that does is it allows you, it really pushes you to the edge of that breakthrough. And that's the one thing that was really, really exciting about it. And watching other people have breakthroughs, it was an incredible, incredible experience.
I love that, Jeff. It's very touching. And you mentioned something really, really important.
Yeah.
Fulfillment. You had a very successful career and you were not fulfilled. Tony
Right.
talks about the art of fulfillment all the time. He talks about the science of success,
Right.
and then the art of fulfillment. Because, you know, the sign of success, yes, you can learn it, you can implement it. But as Tony always says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And when you do things just for the money, the fame, the recognition, there's only so long you can do it for, because eventually you still come to feeling empty in the inside, because as human beings, we were born to serve, and serving others is where fulfillment comes from. This is why Tony Robbins does what he does. This is why Jeff does what he does. This is why I do what I do, because it fills us up, and you can only get that amazing and overflowing feeling of fulfillment when you're serving others. And so, as I said before, if you're a coach, if you're a therapist, if you are a consultant and you're there to help others, I can't think of anyone better in the planet to help you upskill yourself so that you can serve more people at a much bigger scale than Tony Robbins. Because as Jeff said, Tony is a master at breaking complex things super simple, simplicity. And, you know, if any of you have ever been exposed to neuro-linguistic programming like Jeff and I know, you'll know it's not an easy thing to learn. And one thing is to learn it, that's knowledge. But another thing is to implement it, to have the wisdom of knowing how to utilize it with yourself and with others. Because NLP, the whole thing is to do it on yourself so that you can grow, because that's the only way you can help others, right? And Tony Robbins just breaks it down so much that it's, for me, I'm in awe to see how he utilizes all of the neuro-linguistic programming skills to help a group of people in a virtual scenario. I mean, who does that? He's creating history. So, Jeff, tell me, how did you, because I called you after I did UPW, like I've done it 3 times now, and I said, Jeff, oh my God, you have to do UPW virtual, because you will look at it with complete different eyes. You know, when we went as participants, I went 10 years ago, I think Jeff probably went even before then. It's very different to now seeing it as a consultant and as a coach yourself, as a strategist yourself, with different eyes, and just go, oh my God, the way he just implemented that was amazing. So then you said, I'm definitely going. So tell me more about that, Jeff, after your whole NLP experience.
Yeah, and you know, that's a great point, is because, you know, the art of fulfillment, one of the things Tony said, and I wanted to expand on this a little bit, is he says the number one, and this was decades ago, I heard Tony say this, was the number one cause for fatal heart attack after the age of 55 is not being fulfilled in your life. And I was like, whoa, that got my attention. So, and the other part that he says, what determines, and I use this in all my cells and my RV cells when I did that, is what determines quality of your life is the experiences that you create, right? And being in that experience is just an incredible thing. So having the awareness of, after doing prac and master prac with NLP, it exploded what the experiential that I got out of not only just Tony, but in a lot of other people, because let's face it, NLP would not be where it's at had it not been for Tony. I mean, and just, I mean, if you know the history of it and where it came from and stuff like that, Tony was just really the catalyst that took it to an entirely different level. And the part that's exciting is once you have that awareness, then this is why I am definitely going to virtual, virtual, is because once you have that awareness, you're able to see what is going on behind, not going on behind the scenes, but you can see how he's applying, he's using the art component of it, of being able to put these strategies into place. because you and I went to similar trainings. And basically, it's a lot of book knowledge, a lot of lecturing, a lot of things like that. And then we had to go through, and I think the thing that makes us the coaches that we're, one, is we went through it for ourselves. Secondly, is through coaching other people. But it's all about the experience. And then when you see somebody at a master level like Tony and how he's applying it, it's one of those moments that I like to call neurological popcorn. It's just like, boom, oh my gosh, this is how he's applying it, because the art component leaves out or has the option of so many different variables, right? And there's so many different ways you can do a swish pattern, you can do a pattern interrupt, you can pre-frame, you can do all these different things. And watching him do it live and with other people, it creates an extraordinary experience. And then, one of the other things that I picked up from Tony is how many things have we prevented ourselves from doing because we had the fear of not knowing how to apply it, right? And I got that from Tony, of how a good thing about fear is to teach us how to prepare better. So if you are a coach or any level of making a difference in anybody else's life, this is an opportunity to learn from a master. I mean, he is the most influential man when it comes to coaching. The coaching industry wouldn't be where it's at had it not been for Tony. We got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, Tony is a master, and he's been doing it for many, many, many decades. And he's been under the gun. He's had all kinds of different people come after him, but his heart is about serving. And this is an opportunity for anybody that is doing coaching at any level to learn from the best. I mean, that's one of the things about NLP, right? Is excellence, studying excellence, modeling somebody that does it the best. And there's nobody out there that does it better than Tony.
I love that. And you know what, Jeff, you said something very crucial. Like, Tony teaches you how to do it for yourself, on yourself, because when you learn how to do it in you, that's when you can change, and that's when you can go and do it on others. And he teaches you how to use the sub modalities or changing that limiting belief into what the real truth is. And the reason why, in fact, you're saying, Jeff, actually the world of coaching wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't because of Tony. Right. And Tony, it's a master at teaching you what's the difference between programming versus conditioning. Because in fact, neuro-linguistic programming, Tony actually changed the name and called it neuro-associative conditioning. Yep. And one of the main reasons, there's other legalities behind it, but one of the main reasons is because when people hear the word programming, they think, oh, that's it, I've done UPW, I'm fixed. Tony programmed me for success. And there's no such a thing. It's called conditioning. Why? Because you gotta continue to condition yourself every day. You don't go and have a shower. Do you shower every day, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? Why?
I need to.
Why do you shower again?
Right.
So you get dirty again, right? You're going to shower, but then the next day you're going to get dirty, sweaty, so you're going to smell. You're going to shower again. Do you work out once and go, that's it, I'm fit for life, I don't need to do anything? No, we have to keep going back to the gym or the pool or the bike or the running track to keep fit. And so it's the same with your mindset, with your psychology of success. You have to continue conditioning yourself. Right. There's not such a magic wand that just programmed you. And Tony Robbins is a master at teaching you how to do it for yourself so that you can continue. Jeff and I are very strong on our morning rituals. Jeff is an amazing meditator that, I aspire to get up to the level that he meditates. But we have very, very strong morning rituals to set our day up for success. If you've ever been in any of my webinars, I've taught you my Bravo method that I compiled for myself, because it's what sets intention for the day, to set me up for success for the day. Because, if I think, oh, great, I've done UPW, not once, not twice, but 3 times, that's it, I'm fixed. It doesn't work like that, because eventually it's going to wear off, and my subconscious is going to take me back to my old habits that are not empowering of my success. But because I know now for myself how to continue to work that muscle and condition myself, then there's no excuse for me not to be at a peak state every day, not to set myself up for success, not to, the self-awareness that you get out of UPW to be able to go, my energy is lowering, my thoughts are going in the wrong direction, I'm starting to focus on, what's wrong versus what's right, or what I'm liking versus what I have. It's like being able to snap on the instant and go, oh, okay, I'm aware of it. So quick, what am I going to do to get back into peak state, to unleash myself, to condition myself to be at my best every day, to maintain my vibration of energy high in order to continue to manifest the life of my dreams. So tell me about the some of your rituals, Jeff, that make a big difference.
And you said two things, and I want to expand on that a little bit more too, Sandra. Is the first thing is levels of consumption, right? I mean, you and I have gone to a number of trainers that we've been at the same events, right? And really, I want people to understand this, because this is so important. You said you've been to UPW 3 times, and every single time that UPW, even if it was the same material, which I know it's not, you have a different level of consumption now. So you get to see different things at different levels, right? So the more we increase our awareness, we're able to see nuances that we didn't see before. And like you're saying, now that we're practicing, I got goosebumps. It's like, whoa, now we're at master level understanding, it's going to be an entirely different event, like you were sharing with me. You were so excited. I'm like, thank you so much. The other thing is discipline. Okay, discipline. There are certain things in life that are reserved for the people that discipline themselves to be able to create their vibration at the level so that they're able to have the awareness to be able to see some of the things that they need to see. Meditation. I get up every morning, I do 30 push-ups, and it's the difficult push-ups, putting my knees to my elbows. I do 30 push-ups, and then I'll do meditate from anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour, depending on what I have for the day. And then I'm working on incorporating deep breath work for about 35 to 40 minutes, just in really intense breath work. And then I'll go journal. And I've been journaling for 30 years. This is one of the disciplines that absolutely is mandatory for me. And then after that, I'll go work out. And because of these things, I mean, I was on bipolar meds for 10 years. And the reason for that is because, think of the word bipolar. So I had this polarity. I would go into anger or fear. It was this constant thing. But because I've done the things that I have done, it has changed my neurology through conditioning, right? And that's one of the things that meditation for me today, and this is some of the stuff I talk about when I coach my clients or products and things like that, is getting people to understand 75% of what we know in our life was by the age of 5. Right? So we have to get into those states where we were imprinted as a child. And that's how we do that, is through meditation. We get into the alpha and the theta brain frequencies so that it loosens up, so that we can start putting in, changing the conditioning aspect of it. And so it's really, really important. How much of our lives do we spend for us? How much of our lives do we spend to change the conditioning of who we are and really invest into showing up the best version of us as possible? How many of us spend and take, for me, it's absolutely mission critical, because I have to show up the best version of me for my clients, for myself first, and then I'm going to pass that on to my clients, and that will transpire into their lives as well. So it's these little disciplines that make all the difference in the world, where you get, just like you said, I love the word intention. You get intentional about designing your life, rather than going out into your day reacting to everything because you didn't put yourself in an intentional mindset. So the morning ritual, mission critical. And I'm at the point now, if I had to choose what I would do, if I had to give up one of the 4, the last one that I would give up is meditation. Meditation to me is the most important thing that I do every single morning, because it's after I've done it for years, it's really been one of those things that I can see that it gives me the opportunity to go and be able to access deeper things within myself, rather than spending a day of reacting to everything. And it's made all the difference in the world. So yeah, disciplines are hugely, hugely important, and continually putting ourselves around people like you, and continually learning from people like Tony, because Tony, and I know Tony has, cold showers, all this stuff. This is another part of my ritual that I've been adding, is cold showers. How can I stimulate my neurology? And the more you do that, the more, and I started working with another coach that's working with me on a molecular level with supplements and stuff like that. And we can talk about that later, but radically changing my life. And see, and for those of you that have read Good to Great, The difference between good and great is just fine little tuning, right? So every little nuance that you can do and create your life, and set the intention every day of, I want to increase my life 1% today. How can I do that? And you just keep doing that day after day after day, and it compounds, and it's like ridiculously incredible life. The experiences that Tony talked about, right? Your life is a reflection of the experiences you create, right? Get intentional about creating an exceptional life, and you will get huge dividends off of that.
I love it. And it all starts with you. If you're not working on yourself, you can't help your family, your employees, your business, your community, the world. You know, is that giant ripple effect. Tony shares a very powerful story at UPW, which I won't share it here because you'll probably go for a whole hour. But it's a very powerful story of one thing he did one night at a restaurant with a waiter, and the ripple effect went on for like 20, 30, 40 years later. And it's very powerful. And I love what Jeff said about that little change that you make every day to get life to a whole new level. Because Tony talks about, you know, good, great, excellent, outstanding. And so back in the day, you know, good was good enough. I remember when I started working for Flights Unlimited, which is the largest chain of travel agencies in Australia, about 20 years ago, because I quit my full-time job 10 years ago to do what I love, to get the fulfillment. And when I started, the brand had such recognition in Australia that people would walk in. We had lines of people out of the door, and you literally, they're sitting as a travel consultant. Next, what do you want next? Oh, I want to go on a holiday. Okay, what do you want? This is how much you want it. No, okay, next. And you could pretty much nearly give them the rude finger, and they still wanted to book with you because we had the brand of Flight Center. Because good or crappy back then was good enough. But what happened as the time evolved over the years and they started to get more competition and the standards rise, being good wasn't good enough anymore. If you just did that, the client would walk away and book their holiday elsewhere. So all of a sudden you had to care for your client and get to know them and find out about the, you know, what do they enjoy doing the most, mountain or beach, or where do you want to go on a holiday, snow or, you know, summer. And so we had to raise our standards. And so these days, if you're good at what you do, if your life is good, I'm sorry to say it, but that means it's really crappy, really. Let's call it as it is. And if your life or your business or what you do, you're great at it, it's just good enough these days, you know? And if you're doing good, the rewards that you're getting, if you're great, rewards that you're getting, they're good. If you're excellent at what you do, if your life is excellent, then I'm afraid the rewards that you're getting, they're just great. So, but you already went from here to there to, like, Sandra, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing everything I can. I'm working, you know, 14 hours a day. I can't do anymore. Well, the answer might surprise you, because the difference between excellent and outstanding is only a 2-millimeter change. As Jeff said, it's just that tiny. It's not that you like giving it everything you have and you can't go anymore. It's a tiny 2-millimeter shift that will take you from excellent to outstanding. And it's the outstanding people that get the rewards that they deserve. That's where the you know, gold medal athletes are. That's where the successful, the millionaires, the happy, the fulfilled people, the relationships. So to talk about that, Jeff, because you're like, oh yeah.
No, it's great. It's great. And it's really important. See, because I was sitting there thinking about my career that I had in jewelry. I had an extraordinary career in jewelry. I was very, very good designer. I had companies bring me in to design lines of jewelry for them, and I was very fulfilled. But there was some stuff stirring inside of me. See, these are the moments where we don't give ourselves permission to step into the next level, right? Because hey, I'm thinking this kind of stuff, and people will go, dude, you got an extraordinary career. Why would you even want to give that up? Right? And this is the difference of asking. Tony says it all the time. What determines the quality of your life is the questions you ask, right? Is really asking different questions and giving ourselves permission to step into an incredibly different dimension within our lives. Because if I would have listened to some of those people, it's like, yeah, I am good at what I do. And I have a secure, stable career out in front of me. And it was, I got a lot out of it, but I really had to get in touch with the things that was holding me back. And I knew that there was something so much more inside of me that I really wanted to make my journey of the pain that I went through benefit somebody else. And that's where I really got really intentional about this. And then when I, got back into studying, Tony went to UPW, it was like, holy cow, this is a whole different level. And what that put into motion, one of the things that I do with my clients a lot is I tell them, start thinking of everything as energy and vibration. Everything in your life is energy and vibration. And the more you start getting in touch with that, the more you're going to get into tune with how you are really creating your life. And because I went to UPW, within a very short amount of time, my life exploded with the resources and the opportunity and the people that come. I know without a doubt, had I not gone to UPW, you and I had never met, right? It was such a catalyst to changing the direction of my life. And the people that got me there, the person I bought the tickets from, and the different people that I have met that are affiliated with Tony and their coaching and stuff like that has just been mind-blowing. I mean, there's 95% of my life today is because of me going to UPW, without a doubt. And it's that one, if you think of your timeline in your life and you change it just 1 degree over the course of decades, you will be in an entirely different dimension, right? But how many stories have you heard? I know I've heard, I can't count how many stories that I've heard of people that have gone to Tony Robbins events, come out of it, and their lives radically change. I mean, some of them leave their spouses, leave everything because there's something that's fired inside of them that's going, I'm done denying myself. I'm done playing small. And the gal that was on I'm Not Your Guru Anymore, I can't remember her name. She's actually a friend of mine on Facebook. And it's like people's lives are transformed. And that's where I would anybody that's watching this, that you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself. And this is an opportunity for you to take it to an entirely different level. And, because darkness is real. I've had many conversations around this. There are things in our lives that want to give us the opportunity to understand the power of choice, right? And in order for us to have true choice, we have to have contrasting opportunities, right? This is an opportunity for you to choose to take your game to an entirely different level and be willing to go through what it is that is being offered before you. I mean, because it is a game changer. It is a game changer. And, and especially like Sandra said, if you are a health practitioner or NLP or whatever, you are going to learn from if the most influential man when it comes to how to apply these tools. And, I can still think back of personal power when he was saying on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? I didn't know what he was doing back then, but now that I've, done the NLP and stuff like that, it's like, oh my gosh, he makes it so simple. And that's and I've met some of Tony's most powered up coaches that he's had for him. The guy is just exceptional. And to think that he's doing virtual UPWs now is just, nothing stops him, nothing. And he could retire and live a very fulfilled life now. And he is here to do what he can to keep making the planet a different place. And that's what I love about his heart. And, and I've had the fortunate opportunity to meet a lot of people that know Tony personally. I met one of, when I went through my practitioner, was with the gal that was his right-hand person for 8 years. And she, and it was just like, he is who he says he is. And he shows up the way he says to show up. And it's just so incredible that this is a man that's congruent with his mission, and someone that's put his life into it at that level has a lot to teach anybody else that wants to do that. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to watch this.
I totally agree, Jeff. As Tony says, there are some days where he just can't do it. He just got off, speaking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in, and he has no voice and his back hurts and everything. And there's not one single day where he looks forward to jumping into that icy cold water. But he's trained his brain to, when he says go, it goes to do it. So it doesn't mean, oh, he's Tony Robbins, it's so easy, it comes to him. No, him just like you these days where it's like, but he has conditioned himself to do it. And as Jeff said, all the successful people that I know and that I admire, whether it's in business, in relationships, in health, whatever, they've done Tony Robbins. They'll tell you, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I went to Tony Robbins and oh my God, I unleashed myself. I completely changed my life and I've gone into doing all of these things. People that have come to UPW and changed their lives, became really successful, have become mentors of Tony in another area. And that's one thing I love about himself. He's humble enough to know that he doesn't know it all, and that he's constantly interviewing other people, the experts in the field, learning from them and bringing them. There's a variety of amazing teachers that he brings to you at UPW Virtual, because he knows they're the master in that field. That's where he learned it from. So he brings the source to you. And another thing that Jeff was saying is like the airplane. If it just goes, of course, 1 degree, tiny bit, might not seem like much, but at the end of the trip, instead of ending up in Australia, it's probably gonna end up in India or somewhere completely different. It's the same with your life. One tiny bit that you'll never get there. You'll end up in a complete different destination. And the thing is, first of all, if you're still watching this now, it's because you care. You care about yourself. You have bigger goals. There's another level for you. There's another layer of the onion to peel, and you care for your clients. And so if you care for your clients and you have that same mission, like Jeff, like me, like Tony, no one is going to get you there faster and to a bigger level than Tony. And the thing is, you can easily outgrow many of your mentors, your teachers, your coaches, but you'll never outgrow Tony, because Tony is constantly growing himself and learning more, and bringing the people that are the leading experts in that field. So, and if you don't continue to work on yourself, your clients are going to outgrow you. So you'll be limited as to the amount of people that you can help, because as a life coach or practitioner, or whatever it is that you do, strategies, you got to continue growing yourself so that you can keep helping your clients. You have to stay a step ahead of your clients, and then you can help more of them. And I don't know anyone in the planet like Tony Robbins to help you up your game. So Jeff is going to be there. You may be in a breakout room with Jeff in October. It's October 22nd to the 25th with European hours. So if you don't have your ticket yet, now is the time to go to bringthefreedom.com and get your UPW virtual ticket, because you may never have an opportunity like this before. You're paying 1/10 of the price now that you normally would do at a live event. Over to you, Jeff.
Yeah, and I wanted to say something with the facts are that 90% of coaches make less than $20,000 a year. These are the facts, okay? This is something I want to share with each and every one of you. That is a mindset. That's a mindset. That's all it is, right? And if you're not taking care of you, and if you're not investing in you, then don't expect people to invest in you, right? And it's such a massive thing, because I know there's been times that I've made investments going, I can't afford this. That's the very reason I need to be doing it, right? Because you are investing the moment, just like you were saying, that every single time I've upped my game, guess what? My fees went up every single time. And now I'm charging what I charge an hour. It would take me 3 months to make what I charge in an hour per now. And so if you're sitting there going, I don't have the money, that's the very reason you need to do it, right? Because what you put out there is a vibration, and it's an energy that ends up coming back to you. I think it's 93 or something like that % of coaches make less than 20 grand a year. It's a mindset thing. So everything is energy and vibration. So you owe it to yourself to be there. I will be there. Absolutely. And Sandra, thank you so much for reaching out to me and saying, dude, you got to be here. And I'm so glad you did, because I am definitely going to be there. And I'm excited to see it from a different vantage point now.
Thank you, Jeff. You're so right in what you said. I mean, if you're a practitioner, a therapist, a strategist, a life coach, and you can't afford $395, man, you're in trouble. And as Jeff said, if you're not willing to invest in yourself, how do you expect others to invest in you? So that was really powerful, Jeff. Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you guys at UPW Virtual October 22nd to 25th, European hours, bringthefreedom.com. Jeff, it has been an honor to have you here with me. I know every time you and I connect, whether it's virtual or in person, we could go for days, not even hours. So we're going to cut it off here. But, I'm sure that this has added a lot of value to you. I'm super excited, super grateful from the bottom of my heart to have had you here, Jeff. And on behalf of Success Resources, Tony Robbins, Jeff Faldalen all the way in California, Sandra Bravo all the way in Gold Coast, thank you for connecting. We will see you at UPW Virtual, and we'll see you here tomorrow, same place, same time. And Jeff, I'll hand it over to you to say goodbye.
Yeah, everybody, you owe it to yourself. And I always leave this in every video that I put out there. Live like your life depends on it. The more you invest into you, the more return you're going to get on it. And this is one of the most extraordinary opportunities. And I'm so honored that Sandra gave me the opportunity to talk to you about this, because this was the game changer in my life, and it will be for you as well. So Sandra, thank you again. And thank you everybody for watching. It's been an honor, and I hope to see you at UPW.
Thank you, Jeff. Super grateful to have you in my life.